Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and introduce our class to you. This is Spanish 211. It's intermediate Spanish. We are going to be using both My Language Labs and Moodle for this class. Think of Moodle as our classroom and My Language Labs as more your text and your workbook. So we can start first by talking about communication. See this right here is a news form. If I need to communicate with you guys, I will probably make a post in the news forum, which will also go out as an email blast to everybody. But it will only go to your GTCC account, so make sure that you're using that. So that's one way to communicate. Another way, here is my email. You can get in contact with me by sending me an email. I have my blog posted here. That's not really a way to communicate with me. But a lot of times when I find cool videos that supplement culture that I like to use more so in the class than with my online classes, I'll post it out here. But there's also, if you go back to some of the really older posts, you can find some grammar stuff that might be helpful. Let's see if okay, so for example, if you're taking this class and then you're going to have a break before you go on, I put the glossary out there so you would know what kinds of things you would need to, what books usually go over first. And then I have a bunch of, where is it? This was information about accents, and here I have a link to a bunch of different sites that will help you learn Spanish. So I think this is the very first post I had back in October, so you might want to play around in here. There's just some extra stuff that I have out there that's fun and informational. Here's my phone number and my extension. These are my office hours, and if you click on this link, it just takes you to my office hours on the GTCC website. Remind, you might want to download this app, and then you just text this class code to this number right here or this number, and that's a way for us to communicate via text. And if enough of you use it, then I could also send text blast out to the class as well. But if only a couple of you are using it, then I won't. But I really liked using the texting feature, so hopefully you guys will sign up for it. It's a way that if you're having trouble, sometimes if I'm working on something for you, like you've encountered a problem, texting is more immediate than email. I had a student had an issue with a final, and I worked it out for this person, but they clicked out of the final when I was fixing something for them, and if we had been able to text, it would have been more helpful because I could have texted and said, hey, hold on, I'm fixing this for you. Another thing we can do is meet virtually. I know you guys are online, so you're probably not all excited about coming to campus and trying to find me. So there's a couple ways we can do that, but I just would like for you to send an email text request. If you want to meet me virtually, we can use the big blue button. You can click here or here. And if I've set up a time with you, whenever you're ready, just click join session. And it's going to take you to a place where we will be able to text each other, share webcams. I'll be able to make a screenshot of whatever you're having an issue with and write on it and explain things to you. So that's one way. And then Skype does the same thing. So this is information on how to set up Skype. Okay, so this is Skype. It's down here. It should look like this. When it looks a little different, it's business Skype. And you just would type in my name, or I would type in your name if I'm trying to contact you. And when I pull up a person, these are the things we can text each other. We could see each other. We could call each other and talk to each other via our headsets or the audio capabilities on our computer. Or I can share my screen with you. So if you were having trouble with a My Language Labs activity, I could pull it up and I could actually walk you through it while you were looking at my screen. So those are just a couple of ways that we could get in contact with each other. Some other information in the Moodle site, who we are. This is a glossary. It would be nice for you all to add an entry and label your entry, your name, last name first, and first name second. And you can upload a picture of yourself. You could upload a video. You could upload, but you want to give me some information, telling me your name, whether you have kids, pets, your major, why you're studying Spanish. So here's a bunch of potential ideas that you could include in your blurb that lets us know who you are. And that way we could, if I'm you know, if we're having a lot of exchanges and I want to know who you are a little bit better, I can look there, and that can also help your classmates know who you are. This is a picture of the text. You can either have the hardback, but when you set yourself up in My Language Labs, it comes with an e-text, and I'll show you in a minute when we go into My Language Labs the whole e-text thing. But this is what the book looks like if you want the book. And this is a link to the GTCC bookstore. And here's our syllabus. You can click either the PDF or the Moodle book. This is the grading criteria. Our course schedule, basically just telling you that all our work is going to be due on Thursdays, and this will take you into your grade book, okay? And if you scroll down here, there's also some resources. This is school information like tutoring, technical support, the library, etc. This is the phone number for Pearson. So if you're having trouble getting set up in My Language Labs, this is the number you want to call. This takes you to My Language Labs, but I have links throughout the course as well. This is a video that tells you how to set yourself up in My Language Labs. I'm assuming that with you guys being intermediate Spanish students, you're already set up and you know how this works, but if you have any trouble regarding it, click here. This is the code you'll need for My Language Lab, so once you watch the video, it'll make sense what the code is for. And then if you like having your book on your tablet, so you can be looking at your tablet while you're doing your work on the computer, these links tell you how to get your book on your tablet. This will help you with accent marks. And then these are more for helping you when you have an oral assignment in My Language Labs. I have tried to move everything into Moodle, so I am not sure that these are relevant anymore, and if I find that to be the case, then I might take them out at some point during the semester. Okay. So when you get started, this is your Start Here block. You're going to see this is an introduction to me, and below it is going to be this video, which is an introduction to the course. Remember, this is an online class, so you do have to do an activity by the census date, which is the 23rd, so you'll want to make sure you do both of these assignments. And then each week, you'll want to each week is labeled, and it's labeled with the topic that we're going to be studying, and then inside are your assignments, what you need to know, what you need to do, what you should know by the end of this, and then the various assignments, okay? So one thing that's going to be common throughout are going to be videos. This one just has a link, but I think in most weeks I have a book. So if you open up the book, you will see various videos that you need to watch for each week, and then when you're done watching the videos, you will open up the class participation form, click here, hit reply, and post any questions or concerns you have about the material covered in the videos. Now, it is imperative that you're watching the videos, and you do have to post. If you don't have any questions, you can say that, but if you do have some questions, then please post them, because if I add extra links, those things would be beneficial to your classmates, okay? But you'll notice there are assignments in here as well, so make sure you're doing the assignments, and then you'll always have, not always, but most weeks you'll be asked to go into My Language Labs, so you can click here and it'll take you out to My Language Labs, and then you'll be told what you need to be completing in My Language Labs. So if you click here, this is what My Language Labs looks like. So the first time you come out, you've got to register, so you would click here. Then after that, you'll click at every other time you'll click at sign in. Okay, so after you've signed in, you're going to see various assignments on the calendar. It's usually going to be on a Thursday. You'll open up the assignments. They're going to pop up in the middle, and then you'll need to complete them. Now, you do want to be toggling back and forth between the two sites, because this is what I assigned you, SAM activities. When you go out here, you're going to notice extra activities, like here's some tutorials. I think this week it's just tutorials. If it's not assigned here, you do not have to do it, it's just extra. So of course, if I find tutorials that I think are going to help you, I'm going to post them there, but they're not required. So you can decide based on your time constraints whether or not to touch the extra material or not. It will not count against your grade. The only things that I'm going to be looking at and moving over from My Language Labs are your SAM activities. Okay, so when you want to complete an activity, you just open it up, and then you just click. I'm not even reading this, so I don't know. Okay. And then you would hit, when you're done, you'd hit finish and submit for grading. And I got a 40 because I didn't really read, and I actually would have to look at a page in the book, so I'm not going to go, I'm not going to do that right now because I'm making the video, but you can try again and you can get a different score. You can click on a different answer. Whoops. Okay, and then hit finish and submit for grading. And now my score went up. And so the only score, you can try as many times as you would like, and the only score, and sometimes it'll give you feedback that'll give you clues to help you figure out what the answer should be. The only score I'm going to see is the highest one. So if you failed it twice and then you get 100, the only score that I'm going to be taking is that 100. So you can practice as many times as you like. But if you're running into trouble, then that's when you should contact me so that I can help you out and explain what you're doing wrong. Okay, and if you look at the top, this is where your e-text is. So that's your book. So if you don't want to buy a book and you just want to use the e-text, you're more than welcome to do that. And it'll probably look a little bit different if you download it to your tablet, because this is the ADA compliant version. This is the HTML version, and I think you'll have a different version on your tablet, but it's still the same book, same page numbers. Okay, and I think that's pretty much it. So if you have any questions or concerns, then feel free to contact me.